What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. Ooh, we got a celebrity on, Steven Reinstein. Hello, everybody. See a bunch of our GrowPro clients, bunch of Maya clients, CMA clients. I love it. We are amongst friends. Still letting people in. We had a lot of people sign up for this webinar, which always makes it really exciting. I think this is a topic that doesn't get spoken enough about because I mean, who wants to go back to high school English class, right? I don't know about you, but definitely not me. If you can, let me know where you're from in the chat box. Put your city and state. Steven says, I'm here to learn. Gage says, hello, very excited. Awesome. Oh, and Shelby, man, amongst rock stars today. I love it. All right, Iowa, Michigan. Oh, see somebody in Florida, Tennessee. Very cool. Awesome. Keep them coming, guys. I love seeing the chat box running. And we're going to get started here in exactly 60 seconds. If you have never been to one of my webinars, we don't waste time. There's no fluff. You're going to leave with actionable items that you can immediately implement. What most people do on a webinar is they tell you why it's important and what you need to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. I am a teacher at heart. I have my degree in elementary education, so I love to teach. So you are going to not only learn the what and the why, you're going to learn the how today as well. Okay. Oh, Laura, been a minute. Nice to see you. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, guys. Philly, more Florida. I love seeing Florida. Very cool. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen here. And can you guys just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Very good, thank you. Okay, so the 6-step process to writing emails that sell, all right? We are gonna kind of just do just a really big overview on email marketing in general. And you are not only going to leave with the 6-step process and the framework that I use when I write emails, but I'm even going to give you the 6 emails that we are using in our summer trial special. So just curious, is anybody doing a summer trial special, like a specific trial offer? Let me know in the chat box. You can say yes or no. If you are putting out a special offer for summer. Yes, yes. Working on the details for it. Yes. Okay, awesome. So if you guys stick around to the end, I'm going to give you the 6 emails. You can literally copy and paste. You just plug in your detail of information that will be helpful in regards to, getting the word out via email for your summer trial special. Okay, so you're going to leave with a lot of goodies, which is always awesome. Okay, Master Bolts, you became more aerodynamic, it looks like, sir. Yes, we got a buzz cut. I like it. Looks good. All right, guys, let's dive in. 5 pounds lighter. That's funny. Okay, so the 6-step process to writing emails that sell. So in today's presentation, this is what we're going to be going over. My ultimate goal, like what is the goal with writing emails? We're going to talk about how this fits into your customer journey and the 7 levels of marketing. We're going to talk about the purpose of email marketing and the 3 types of emails you will use. We're going to talk about a couple of things you got to do before you launch these emails. And then I'm going to provide you with the 6-step framework and the examples of the emails. We're going to talk about subject lines because subject lines are, really going to be kind of the turning point on whether or not somebody opens up your email. And then we'll talk about performance metrics and then a little bonus. Okay. I see, a lot of familiar faces, but I also see some new faces in here. So, who is Chris Rodriguez? Why are we on this? I'm a school owner just like you. I own Gracie Pack MMA in Tampa, Florida. It's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA academy. We've been open for about 9.5 years. I also own Grow Pro Agency. We're a digital marketing agency that works closely with Maya clients. We also work closely with Market Muscle clients and Pulse clients. And we run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google. We do social media management and database reactivation, which is email marketing. I'm Maya's digital marketing consultant, and I also run a small mastermind group called the A Team. All right. So I'm very familiar with the pains and the struggles of running a martial arts school, very familiar with having you wear lots of different hats in your martial arts school. I don't know about you, but I didn't open up my martial arts school because I wanted to become a copywriter, because I wanted to write a bunch of emails. But when you think of everything that we do in our martial arts school, it is copywriting. So what ultimately is copywriting? It's writing to persuade. When you are putting a flyer together, that flyer's purpose is to persuade the person to sign up for whatever it is you want them to sign up. When you are on the phone and you are on an appointment call and you're trying to book an appointment, the words that you are saying, the ultimate purpose is to persuade them to come in and book that appointment and to show up for the appointment. When you're writing emails, same thing. So literally everything we do in our martial arts school and really in our business is writing or speaking to persuade them to take action on whatever it is that we want them to take action on. So this is a skill set that is important to, it's ultimately important to level up. So I kind of look at marketing as this umbrella term, right? People come and say, Chris, I need you to help me with my marketing. And that's like somebody coming up to you and say, Chris, I need you to help me with my martial arts. Like, well, what aspect of it? Because there's a lot of different subsets and skills, okay? So I look at marketing as a bridge, and that bridge has individual bricks, okay? And wherever you are now to wherever you want to be in your business, marketing is going to play a role. And each one of those individual bricks are going to be the different skill sets that you can build. And one of those marketing skill sets is the ability to write copy, to write emails that persuade people to take an action. All right. So I am a self-proclaimed skill collector. I love developing new skills. Zig Ziglar says that we are all one skill set away. We are all one skill set away to being wealthy. We just got to figure out what is that skill set that we need to implement. And it's something nobody can ever take away from you. Okay. Would you agree that you leveled up your business skill sets in the year of 2020? Let me know in the comments. Put a yes if you did, put a no if you basically stayed the same. All right. Yeah. Every single one of us, even if it was, hey, I'd never used Zoom before, and now I'm running my entire martial arts school on this platform called Zoom. Really wish I would have invested in Zoom prior to 2020 happening. Okay. So we all have leveled up our skill sets in 2020. I think it's one of the blessings that the pandemic did bring. But to me, I'm always on a path of continued education because I know that I am one skill set away from accomplishing whatever the goal is that I've set out. All right. So the goal of email, all right, this is it. I mean, if we had to sum it up in one sentence, the goal of email is to ultimately assist and expedite the customer's movement from one stage of their journey to the next. And this is what I call the customer journey. This is something that I am really, really passionate about. I've spoken, actually, the first time I ever spoke at this was Steven Reinstein's Market Muscle conference a couple of years ago. And I've taught a course on this customer journey map. It's a future book that I want to write. But there are 6 stages that your customers go through. And they go through this whether you know it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not. And those 6 stages are awareness, consideration, purchasing, onboarding, retention, and advocacy. Those are the 6 stages. Your prospects are going to start in that awareness stage. And the ultimate goal is not just to make them aware of your school, it's to make them consider your school. Well, what type of consideration? Well, why should they consider you over your competitors? Or why should they consider you over the baseball league that's happening around the quarter. Okay. And then once they consider us, we want to move them to purchasing. And that's what all of us want, right? You're on this because you want to write emails so that you can sign up more students. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Okay. Then after they become a member, we have onboarding. That's really the first 90 days that the student is with us. And then retention, can we keep them? And then ultimately, can we make them an advocate, right? That's our Black Belt Club. Those are our Master Club members. That's our leadership team. Those are our instructors. Those are our brand ambassador parents. We all have those parents that you think, man, I wish all of the parents could be that parent. And the beautiful part of this customer journey is it's cyclical. Once somebody becomes an advocate of your school, they're talking about it. They're like a walking billboard. And what is that gonna bring? It's gonna bring more awareness. If you look at each one of these stages, email is going to play a role between helping you move them from awareness to consideration, from consideration to purchase, from purchase to onboarding, onboarding retention, and retention to advocacy. So email plays a huge role in helping you move them through those stages. And there's also financial benefits to moving them through the stages, because more than likely, if you have upgrade programs, you have higher tier programs, those students' value is going to be worth more. All right. So email is really going to play a huge component in each one of these stages of your customer's journey. Okay. Give me a 1 in the chat box if the customer journey makes sense. And if you can see how email can help move people through that customer journey. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Then we have the 7 levels of marketing. And this is something, I actually have a book coming out called The Best Known Dojo. It's my very first book. This has been on my vision board for about a decade. And it's in the process right now. And it's all about the 7 levels of marketing. But these are the 7 different strategies you should be implementing when marketing your martial arts school. You've got organic social media, that's, posting consistently, that's doing Facebook Lives, that's creating events. You have search engine optimization, which has to do with your website. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anything about building websites. And that's why I let the experts over at Market Muscles handle that. All right. Paid advertising. That's my Facebook ads. Those are my YouTube ads, my Google ads. Okay. And then we have email marketing, and really it's email marketing and text messaging. Those really go hand in hand. We have direct mail and print marketing, picking up the good old fashioned phone, which is the lifeline of our business, and then face-to-face marketing. Now, each one of these levels, as you move your way down, require more sweat equity. All right. And this is probably the reason why I fell in love with Facebook ads. When I first opened my school back in 2012, it was just me. And the thought of like going to spring festivals, I'm in Florida, right? It is hot. Okay. Setting up a summer booth at a festival and having to stand outside in my black uniform for hours on end, it just wasn't super appealing to me. Now, we do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but that was why I fell in love with digital marketing, because it was like, man, I can just open up my laptop. I can launch this paid advertising campaign, and I can literally have leads on tap. And I'm going to do that inside of the air conditioning, and I won't have to sweat. Now, with that being said, the quality of lead gets better and stronger as you make your way down through the 7 levels of marketing. All right. So if I have an opportunity to get a lead that I'm face to face with, somebody that I got to build rapport, I got to meet them, that lead is ultimately going to be worth more than, let's say, a lead that came from social media. Okay. So I just want everybody to be able to have a visual of where email marketing fits in your marketing strategy. And part of the reason why I like to bring this up too is I hear often from school owners, oh, Chris, I launched an ad and for my summer trial special, and I only got 2 sales. And I'll say, okay, well, what else did you do? And they say nothing. Well, when I think of the word marketing campaign, I'm not just thinking of you launching an ad. I'm thinking of an organized course of action. And that organized course of action should have multiple levels of marketing in it, including your email marketing. Okay. So what can email marketing be used for? I mean, really every single stage that we just went over in the customer journey. So acquisition, we can use it for branding. We can use it for driving traffic to landing pages or our website. We can use it just to engage with our customers, to have an ongoing conversation. We can use it for direct sales, which is what we're going to be doing today. We can use it to get referrals. We can use it to reactivate. One of my absolute favorite reactivation campaigns, guys, and you should do this. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but since we're on the subject of email marketing, one of my favorite reactivation campaigns, and we send this out twice a year via email and text message, is a very simple email that just states, "Are you still interested in martial arts?" That's it. One sentence, one question. Are you still interested in martial arts? And we send it out twice a year because as the months go on, we're getting leads, and not all of those leads are going to convert into trials and students immediately, which is why you have to nurture them with ongoing emails. But if you have not sent out a reactivation email that just simply states, "Are you still interested in martial arts?" I would recommend that you do that, because when we send these out, it's really a numbers game. You're going to get a ton of people that say no. Okay. But if they say no, they're actually conversing with me. So, hey, maybe you said no, but do you have any friends that might be interested? Is your significant other interested? Okay. And this reactivation campaign of just simply, "Are you still interested in the martial arts?" Like I said, we do it about twice a year, and it can really help to reactivate your cold leads. Okay. Gage is asking, would that reactivation email have contact info, or are you just waiting for the reply? You're just waiting for the reply. That's it. You're waiting to start the conversation. Okay. And then also email marketing can be used for retention. But most often what we use email marketing for is to acquire new students, to get them to purchase a trial, which would be direct sales. Okay. And that's ultimately what the 6-step process we're going to be going over does. Okay. So there's a couple of things you've got to do before you launch. Okay. We want to set ourselves up for success. So you need to have these 5 things in motion before you're going to blast out this 6-part email series. Okay. So these are the 5 musts that you absolutely must implement. Number 1 is you need to have the ability to segment your list. Okay. So what I mean by that is when somebody is requesting information on your website, they need to be able to be specific about what they are interested in. And this is, one of the many reasons, why we love Market Muscle so much is because in the opt-in box, they can choose which program they're interested in. If you do not have this ability of segmenting your list when people opt in, you're going to get a lot of unsubscribes. And the reason is because, maybe that person was interested in your adult program, but you're blasting them with emails about your kids program. So we've got to make sure that we have segmented lists, because certain offers that you're going to put out are only going to be relevant to certain people. Okay. So we definitely have to make sure that our list is segmented and we know, is this person interested in jujitsu? Are they interested in Muay Thai? Are they interested in the kids program? Are they interested in summer camp? Okay. The second must is you've got to be sending regular, consistent emails that are providing value. If all you do is follow my 6-step process, and every email that you are sending is sales, 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 you're really going to start to get a negative connotation in people's mind when they see you in the inbox. Okay. So you should have a part of your ongoing marketing strategy to be sending emails out. Now, we utilize nurture campaigns that are provided to us by our website provider that help with that process. Okay. But if you are just only selling sales, 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 you're probably going to see your unsubscribe rate increase. Okay. Number 3, and I think this is becoming more and more true as our attention spans get shorter and shorter. But you don't need to be writing chapters or novels in your emails. There's actually a lot of data that supports emails that are highly visual, meaning they have lots of images and graphics. And there's nothing wrong with keeping it short. I would actually recommend to keep it short, to use things like bullet points, and to make sure that you have call to actions. So I'm not telling you got to write a 3,000 word essay here. It's absolutely okay to keep it short. Most people are going to be reading your emails on their mobile device. All right. You got to remember, us as like business owners, we are in front of computers all day. But when a lot of parents are checking their emails and stuff like that, they're going to be on their mobile device. If I open an email on my phone and I've got to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, I'm more than likely not going to read it. So keep it short. We also want to make it personable. Okay. So if you have the ability to use merge tags in your emails, which is basically just a little piece of code where you could put like F-name, and wherever you're emailing it from, it pulls their name into that email. It's going to help make that email more personable. And this is very true in subject lines. We find that subject lines where we use the prospect's name have a tendency to perform better and have a higher click open rate. And then finally, your call to action in your email, sometimes it might be reply to this email, such as the reactivation campaign where we ask, are you still interested in martial arts? But more than likely, you're going to have a link that you're going to send them to. And that link, that offer page, that landing page has got to have a strong headline. It's got to have a sub headline. You want to have some form of supportive image or video that has to do with what you are trying to sell. We want to implement social proof on there. And we also want to have the call to action, which, you know, in this example that we're going to be using today is sign up for our Train for the Entire Summer special. Okay. So these are just 5 things that you need to keep in mind prior to launching your email campaigns that we're going to be going over. Okay. All right, let me just see, anybody have any questions so far? Because next up, we're getting into the process.
I do.
Yes, sir.
What are social proofs? I'm sorry, I'm like new to obviously the martial arts.
That's a great question. So social proof is like a marketing term that we just mean testimonials, right? So social proof would be a testimonial. It would be a case study. That, you know, could be a screenshot of a Google review. Omar, I know you have a ridiculous amount of Facebook recommendations and Google reviews already, and you just opened your school in January, right? So you have tons of social proof online. So screenshotting that and using that in your emails is what social proof means.
Gotcha. One other thing I would like to ask, if possible.
Sure.
The page that had email marketing used for it, and it was like I was trying to type down the list, but I got sidetracked. Anyway, you can put that back up for 1 second so I can get the rest of it.
Yeah, and for everybody that registered, we obviously have you on our email list that is segmented, that says that you signed up for this particular webinar. We're going to send you out the recording as well as the PDF. So you'll get this keynote. I don't like saying that in the beginning because I love when you guys take notes. Like it makes just makes me really happy when people take notes. And then when I tell them I'm sending the keynote, I see all the pens drop. So I usually don't like telling that, but yes,
awesome.
You will. Thank you, Laura. Laura's taking notes, but yeah, I'll email that out to you, Omar, so you'll have it in front of you. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So let's get to this 6-step process. When Maya first hired me, and this was probably about 2 years ago, I was hired to be their digital marketing consultant and was ultimately hired to run Facebook ads for them. There was a little back and forth with allowing me and giving me the necessary online permissions to run ads for them. So they basically hired me to run ads, but wouldn't let me run ads. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. And what ultimately they needed was a writer. If you guys have picked up an MA Success magazine within the last 2 years, you're going to find an article of mine that's in there. If you've opened up any emails from the Martial Arts Industry Association, 90% of the time, that's going to be an email that I crafted. right? We recently just launched a campaign for Maya for the Dallas Elite event. So it's an event that's happening June 25th and 26th. And I put together this 6-part email series, and only 3 of the emails went out before we completely sold out. So I literally couldn't even send the last 3 emails that needed to go out. Besides writing emails for Maya, writing emails for GrowPro, I've also been the one that's been writing emails for my martial arts school up until a couple of years ago, because this is something that can be time consuming. And it's ultimately something that I've been able to delegate out to my program director. How can you delegate something to a team member if you don't have a system and process in place though? Okay. So today, that's my goal is you're going to have this. Yes, I'm going to give you the emails because I thought it would just be a cool bonus, but I'm giving you the process of how to write those emails as well. All right. So this is exactly what I do when I'm launching something. These are going to be the exact steps. Okay. So step number 1, and these again, guys, are promotional emails. We're using the example for your summer trials special. All right. This is not the example I would necessarily use if you're trying to get people to sign up for a parent night out event. Okay, so I want to be very clear about these emails are for a specific promotional offer that you have. And these are the steps you're going to follow. Number 1, the first email needs to be the offer teaser. Okay, so email number 1 is your offer teaser. And the framework that you're going to use is, I told you earlier that studies are showing that emails that have more pictures in them have a higher click-through rate. So you have your open rate, which means the percentage of people that actually open your email. And then you have your click-through rate. Your click-through rate is the percentage of people that actually clicked on the link to whatever the offer is that you have. So I like having some form of fun image or GIF in there. There's an argument. Is it GIF or is it GIF? I don't know. I say GIF, but everybody has their own thoughts on that. Okay. So I like putting that image in because it's going to capture their attention. The ultimate goal is to build excitement by creating urgency and scarcity and setting a date for when this offer is going to go live. Your offer teaser email should ultimately be very short. And this is the example along with the subject line. So the subject line is our hottest deal of the summer. I used an image that I got over from my friends at Maya Edge. Guys, if you struggle with having images and graphics, go check Maya Edge out. They always have specials going on. I think it's like after the special, it's $150 a month, but like if you're sick and tired of trying to create graphics in Canva or you're outsourcing to people in Fiverr, Maya Edge has all of this ready to rock and roll for you. Okay. Guys, I'm a BJJ school. Those kids have weapons and sparring gear. I'm okay with that. All right. So if you're particular to your style, what you need to remember is that your prospects, most of them are not particular to your style. All right. So this is the actual email. I've got the fun graphic at the top. Mark your calendar because our hottest deal of the summer is coming to your inbox on, and then you're just going to input the date. Okay. So when does your offer launch? Okay. We only have X amount of these summer specials available. What is that doing? That's creating scarcity, meaning not everybody's going to be able to do it. So be ready at this time on this date to grab the deal of the year. Okay. I'm not telling them what the deal is. I am planting the seed and I am building excitement for them to expect another email that will have the deal in it. All right. So email number 1 is going to be the offer teaser email. Very short, to the point. We have the image at the top. Okay, we're going to make sure that the date is in there. We're going to create some urgency, some scarcity, and we're going to let them know when the deal is going to go live. Okay, how long would crafting an email like this take? I mean, it's 3 sentences, guys, right? And you got to figure out a subject line, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. Okay, but we want to plant the seed. We want to build that excitement. All right. So email number 1 is the offer teaser. Email number 2 are the details. So this is where you're actually going to provide them with the details of whatever your offer is. I am a huge fan of systems and processes, and one of the Maya systems that Mr. Metzger teaches is the 4 steps of selling. These 4 steps, these bullet pointed steps, are great. It's a great training framework for your team when they're making phone calls, and it can also be used when they're crafting emails. All right. So you're going to see me use the 4 steps of selling, which is the reason why I'm writing. If this was a phone call, it would be the reason why I'm calling. I need to sell it, which means I've got to paint the picture. Why is this offer so amazing? What is included in it? What am I going to get? What are the benefits of it? I need to have some form of call to action with urgency. So is it going to be reply? Is it going to be click the link and fill out the form? What's that call to action going to be? Okay. And then I ultimately want to close it. That's the ultimate goal of sending this email. Okay. So I like using this framework to even help me when I'm writing email number 2, which is the offer details. Okay. Subject line, your 2021 summer special unlocked. All right. So it's officially unlocked because this is the date that it's going to start. I pulled another image in from Maya Edge, which has all of the information in regards to everything that they're going to get as well as the price. Okay. So it's time to make the best summer to date. You're not going to believe what you're going to get with our Train the Whole Summer special. I'm going to list each one of those, as if everybody could keep their, everybody could mute themselves. Sorry, I can't mute you while I've got my screen shared. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to break down each aspect of the offer. I think the webinar that I did 2 months ago was about specifically crafting an offer and the 8 steps that we walk through when crafting an offer. If you have trouble crafting an offer, guys, I would definitely go back and watch that. It was another free training that I did. But we want to list everything that they're going to get. But look at this. You guys see how I'm putting the value of each one of those bullet points? This is incredibly important. In psychology, it's called the concept of anchoring. And we want to anchor people into what the total cost of what they're actually getting is versus the discounted cost of what they're getting. So in our particular offer, it's 8 weeks of action-packed, fun-filled martial arts lessons, which is valued at $299. An official Gracie Pack uniform, which is a $49 value. A confidence boosting one-on-one private lesson, which is a $60 value, and an official 2021 summer t-shirt, which is a $25 value. Okay, so regularly priced at $427, you can grab one of our 10 or 20 or whatever the amount was that you listed, summer trial specials for only $149. That's a savings of almost $300. Okay. So that is, step number 1, the reason why I'm writing. What is the reason why I'm writing? Well, because our Train for the Entire Summer special has been unlocked. It's ready for you to grab. That's the reason why I'm writing. Step number 2 is I got to sell it. I got to paint the picture. Okay. So I'm talking about all of the different things that they are going to get. I need to add a call to action with some urgency and scarcity. I said right here, you can grab one of our 10, one of our 15, one of our 20. Okay. And then I have the call to action to claim your Train for the Entire Summer special. Just fill out the form here and we insert the URL. Okay. So I'm simply using the 4 steps of selling to help me write the email number 2 in the offer details. Okay. Now, guys, there's a couple of things that I did in here that I just kind of want to point out. This has to do with really presentation. Okay. If I say you get 8 weeks of martial arts lessons, or I say you get 8 weeks of action-packed, fun-filled martial arts lessons, which one do you want? Do you want just the 8 weeks, or do you want the action-packed, fun-filled martial arts lessons? If I say you get a one-on-one private lesson, well, that sounds all right. But what is that ultimately, that one-on-one private lesson going to do? It's going to boost that person's confidence to get into the group classes. So a confidence boosting one-on-one private lesson. Okay. And adding the term official summer t-shirt and official Gracie Pack uniform just elevates what they are getting. Okay. So just kind of want you to peek in on those kind of those little changes that you can make. Instead of saying 8 weeks of martial arts lessons, adding in, a couple of adjectives in there is going to make it that much more appealing. All right. So that is email number 2. Email number 3, this is where we're going to pull some social proof. So this is where your testimonials are going to go. Okay. I'm a huge fan of screenshotting testimonials as opposed to typing them in. I mean, you can't really fake a screenshot testimonial. I guess you kind of could if you wanted to create it in Photoshop, but it just makes it feel more real. Okay. So we're going to insert a testimonial 1 to 2. We want to make sure that that testimonial is related to what we're offering. So if this particular, maybe you're a kids only school, right? Maybe you do like skills and you're a kids only school. You don't want to have a review that isn't directly related to your kids program, or maybe you have a summer camp review, but this offer is for back to school. So the testimonial needs to be directly related to what you're offering. We're going to insert the benefits, and then we're going to break down the offer. You're going to see this break down the offer multiple times in this email. And you're going to notice that it's really just me reusing these bullet points. And I kind of change up what the bullet points look like just to make it visually look slightly different. Okay. So this is what this email would look like. This is email number 3, social proof. Why is this the 3rd email? Well, because I sent the teaser, I sent the offer details, but maybe they didn't sign up yet. And this is important, and where social proof really belongs in the customer journey. It belongs when people are in that consideration phase and they're getting ready to purchase, because sometimes they just need to hear somebody else's story. Sometimes they just need to read somebody else's success to give them the kick in the butt that they need to pull the trigger. And that's why we're putting these testimonials in. And, you could probably talk all day about how great your martial arts school is, but it's going to be a lot better having somebody else do it for you. Okay. So I simply went onto Google and I screenshot one of the Google reviews, the 5-star reviews here. Okay. And I think one thing that is important that you guys are doing this summer, I mean, I think we would all agree, most kids last summer didn't necessarily have the, ultimate memorable summer that they were planning on having. All right. So I think that's important that you call that out. You call the elephant out in the room. It's like when we were running ads when the pandemic happened. Okay. I mean, you've got to talk about what is going on. You can't just say, oh, we're just doing online classes, come and join us. Same thing. So I'm in Florida. We opened back up with very limited restrictions on June 1st of 2020. Okay, the ads, and for many of you, if you are still having lots of restrictions, maybe you're in, California or New York or New Jersey, you got to call that elephant out in the room. And that's why you're seeing a lot of ads that state like, hey, we're taking these necessary precautions to keep you safe. Okay, so lean into that. And we can use what happened in 2020 to help us have a better 2021. Okay, so this email is going to be comprised of the testimonials. Okay, we want to make sure, again, it's directly related to whatever it is we're selling. And then we're going to start inserting the benefits. Okay, I mean, again, one of the benefits of doing our summer training special this year is because we couldn't do it last year. For many of you, you were still closed. So let me just kind of break this down for you. Most kids' 2020 summer was a bust due to the pandemic. It's time to make sure that this year's summer is a blast while preparing for next school year. If you're ready for your child to have the absolute best 2021 to 2022 school year, the time to prepare is now. Your child will learn discipline and focus while having fun on the mat with our Train for the Entire Summer special. We are the top-rated martial arts school in the Tampa Bay area. And that's factual, guys. If you look at all of the other martial arts schools in regards to Google reviews, we have the highest amount of Google reviews out of all of the schools in Tampa. Okay. I then go into utilizing that offer. Okay. And it's literally a copy and paste that I did from this email. I just changed the bullet points to be having emojis. So I think there's, some kind of overwhelm that happens when, Chris says that I should do a full marketing campaign that has, 6 emails. You're not like starting from scratch, and you're going to reuse a lot of the verbiage and the copy from one email to the next. So literally this was just a copy and paste, and I swapped out the emojis. Instead of it being a bullet point, I used a check mark. Okay. And it's literally, guys, literally copy and paste. Okay. So that is email number 3, which is the social proof email. Okay. Email number 4 out of the 6 is going to require the most creativity. Okay. However, as martial arts instructors, as teachers, you've probably recognized over the years that people identify and can be on kind of your same wavelength and truly understand what you're teaching if you are doing it through storytelling. One of the things that we do at the end of every one of our classes is our mat chat. Okay, how many of you do a mat chat? Put mat chat in the comments. And Stefan, I'll make sure to get to your question there. Only 3 people do mat chats? No way. You guys aren't paying attention. All right. Once in a while. Okay, cool. All right. At the end of every class, we do a mat chat, and we have a code of the week, which is just our life skill of the week. And we have a manner of the week. Okay. So they get a code and a manner. And part of my instructor training for my instructors is they have to pull a story that they had from their own childhood or their own teenage years, or if they're an adult, their own adult years, that helps to get the point across of whatever the life skill or the manner is. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Self-awareness is one of our lives, one of our codes. Okay. Being aware of how our actions affect others. And the story that I typically like to tell is in high school, my very first business was a DJ business. And I started this DJ company. It was called Hit and Run Entertainment. And I had a big SUV, and that SUV was completely tricked out. And it had lights coming out underneath it. It had lights on top. It was decaled all the way around. And I had 15-inch subwoofers, 2 15-inch subwoofers in the back of my SUV. Well, these parties, high school parties normally happen during the day, or they happen at night? They happen at night. So I would go home very, very late, meaning I wouldn't make it home from work until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I loved listening to music. I was a DJ. So at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, I was blasting my 15-inch subwoofers through the neighborhood that I lived in. And I would ask my students, was I very self-aware of how my actions of listening to music that loud affected my neighbors that were sleeping? And they say no. And guys, we get put on pedestals as instructors. Our students really look up to us. And it can be sometimes hard for them to connect because they put us up here. And I think humanizing yourself is a great way for you to teach lessons to your students. Okay. So that was a story that I use when I teach my mat chat. All right. So you also can use stories in your emails to connect with people. However, like I said, out of all the emails, this is the one that's going to take the most creativity. Okay. So we call email number 4 the hero story. And I do, every story is going to be different, but it usually has like a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? But when you are telling a story, the most important part when you're telling a story in this email, and it doesn't have to be your story. It could be I mean, you guys have been teaching hundreds, if not thousands of students over the years, okay? You have plenty of stories where martial arts has helped that person take them from where they are to where they are going, all right? So ultimately, stories sell, and it doesn't have to be your story. But I like reeling them in with a thought-provoking question that prompts curiosity. And ultimately, my story needs to demonstrate where this person was, where they are now, and how martial arts was that bridge between where they started and where they are now. So when you are thinking of the story and you're writing the story, you need to make sure that you start where that person was, you talk about where they are now, and how your programs helped to help them to achieve it. Okay, guys, this is also like sales 101. Okay, when you are doing sales presentations, you want to pull out from the person that you're talking about, what is their goal? Where do they want to be? And we want to ask them, where are you at now? And then we can paint the picture of how our martial arts programs will take them from where they are now to where they want to go. All right. So you can use this not only in your emails, but you should be using that in your sales presentations too. So let me kind of break down this story here. Okay. So, and then we, at the end, we've got to insert that offer. All right. So here's the subject line: name your gift from Gracie Pack. Have you heard the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child? That was my question. That was my thought-provoking question. That is what's going to reel them in. Okay, as a parent, I've heard that over and over again. Until my son Cruz was born, I didn't truly understand what that meant. Okay, but as parents, we understand that it takes a village to raise a child. It's one of our favorite quotes here at Gracie Pack because we truly believe that it takes an entire village to raise a child, or you could say a pack. In my last email I sent you, I wrote about David G's experience here at Gracie Pack. So guys, David G was the testimonial that I inserted up here. Okay, so that was the testimonial. So I'm tying it back to that testimonial. He happily wrote that his son has shown better behavior in school, self-discipline, and focus after working closely with the staff, coaches, and students at Gracie Pack for the past 6 months. What you don't know is that his son, like many children in Tampa Bay, was struggling at school and at home. This is the story part. This is where David G's son started. His parents were at a complete loss at what to do until they were told about Gracie Pack from a close friend. They immediately signed their son up for an introductory course, even though he was reluctant to go, planting that seed that there might be some reluctancy with your children trying martial arts. They knew that if they wanted to see results, they had to commit, and they did. And here we are 6 months later, and their son has completely transformed into a respectful, disciplined, and focused young boy. That is the power that training in the martial arts has. And the best part, it's super fun. Okay, so that is my hero story. I'm taking David G's son's story and I'm tying it into the testimonial that I put in email number 3. And then look, it's just another copy and paste job. I literally swapped out the check mark emojis for the finger pointing emojis. It has the same urgency and scarcity. It's got the offer breakdown. It's got the benefits that they're going to get. It has the savings, and it has the URL link. Okay. This is the one email that's kind of hard for me to give you like an exact plug and play framework, just because, you know, every story is different. But the framework that you need to think about when you're writing is where they started, where they're at now, and how your martial arts program helped them to get from point A to B. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if that makes sense in the comments. Give me a 1 if that makes sense in the comments. Okay, awesome. Guys, how many of you get testimonials on videos from your students? Does anybody get video testimonials? Okay, you should be, all right? It's the same exact concept though. During that testimonial, we're not just saying, oh, you know, what do you love about Gracie Pack? That's not going to paint the picture of them overcoming the struggle, okay? So when you're doing video testimonials, you want to ask questions about, why did you decide to start at Gracie Pack? What was going on in your life? Can you give me an example of what you were going through? And then when they talk about where they ended up, you can connect the two, that your program helped them to accomplish it. All right. So it's that marketing bridge that I want you to think about. Okay. Email number 5. And this one is super easy. It's just an FAQ, frequently asked questions. So simple. So think about, what questions do people normally ask? Are there any objections that people normally have? You're just simply going to think of the questions that people normally have. If you answer the phone or you reply to emails, this should immediately, be top of mind. We're going to state those questions that have come in. We're going to list the questions and answer them, and then we're going to put our offer in. Okay, so this is what it looks like. FAQ, email number 5, subject line, 300 Tampa parents agree on this. This is going to be the best summer ever. With such an amazing offer like our Train for the Entire Summer, some families are thinking it's too good to be true. We've had a ton of questions pouring in from Tampa Bay families, and we wanted to provide you with this FAQ. Okay, so I'm stating that people have been asking questions, and I'm literally just going to answer those questions in here. How much is the Train for the Entire Summer? What does it include? Is there a money back guarantee? Is it going to be fun? I want my child to have fun this summer. How can I get started? Okay, so does anything look familiar here? It's just the offer broken down in an FAQ format. That's email number 5. Last up, email number 6, the cart is closing. So this is the final email, last call. I think sometimes people can get in a habit of making the prospects feel bad. So don't make them feel bad that they haven't taken the offer. Okay, we're just going to repeat the offer, and we're going to push urgency and scarcity hard. Okay, here is the subject line. Hurry, with the clock emoji. Summer super sale over in hours. Did you forget something, Chris? Between the end of school and the beginning of summer break, you probably have a ton of great activities for your children, but I assure you none of them are as good as our Train for the Entire Summer. Because right now you can get, what am I doing? I'm just copy and pasting the offer in there, and I'm swapping out the emojis, which makes it look visually different from the other emails. And I'm not only going to put the savings, in the earlier emails, I put savings of 300. This one I put for over 70% off. And then we have our call to action with inserting the URL. Okay, those are the 6 emails. Why 6? Because probably 4 of them are going to get deleted, guys, with them not even opening them. Sending one email, that is not an email campaign. That is a delete button. That's what they're going to ultimately hit. Okay? It's more lines in the ocean. That's it. We go fishing and I got 6 rods, but you only have 1. I'm going to catch more fish. Okay? Is it a lot of work? I mean, I think initially, as you're learning this skill set, right, you can intellectually understand something, but that doesn't mean that you've become a master at it. So how do you master it? You just continue to do it. Okay. Or if you wanted to find somebody on Upwork or find somebody on Fiverr and outsource writing emails, you can do that as well. Okay. But this is a skill set that I do believe somebody on your team should have. Tammy's asking, what time frame do you wait between sending each email? Great question. It depends on what the offer is, but this would typically go over the course of 3 to 4 weeks. So, if you were, let's say, starting on June 1st, right? June 1st is when the offer goes live. That's when email number 2 needs to go out, when the actual offer is live. Then the teaser offer would need to go the previous week. I find, and this is just what we see in digital marketing, Tuesdays are typically some of the best days to send emails. I'm not a fan of blasting emails on Monday, because what has happened to that person's inbox over the weekend? It's like got tons of emails, and they're going to go in on Monday and just delete. So we typically will launch on Tuesdays. And we also usually launch on Fridays. Tuesdays and Fridays are the 2 days. Now, you can test this, right? You can test trying to send out an email on a Thursday. We've tested it, and it doesn't work well for us. We actually just had this conversation this morning. We had our marketing team meeting for GrowPro. We always send our blog emails out on Tuesday. We average around a 32% open rate, which is amazing. And we're going to get to performance metrics here in a second. Okay. We sent it out on a Thursday and it dropped down to like a 19%. That was almost like, a 13 percentage difference just from the 2 different days that we sent it on. Okay. So hopefully that answers that. How would a parents' night out be different than this summer offer? Yeah, great question. So maybe I'll do a webinar on sending email offers out, or event offers out. It would, I usually do around 4 to 5 for events. So it's not as many, but it also depends on like your spots. So we had a Ninja Nerf day. We did a parent day out this past Saturday, and we capped it at 30 kids just because in our school, 30 kids with like Nerf guns is enough. And we had a waiting list and we only sent out 2 emails. I just gave that same example for Dallas Elite, right? I put together these 6 beautiful emails and only 3 of them got to go out. So I think it just depends on the number of spots that you have. You might not have to do 6 emails or 5 emails for an event if you have, a smaller piece that predominantly is going to be advertised to your own students and that you'll be sending in-house. Do you use a specific program to systemize and personalize the emails like Constant Contact? We currently use a CRM to send it out, which does have the merge tags. The CRM that we use also provides us with open rates and click-through rates and how many unsubscribers. So we use a CRM. It's not industry related to send those out. Most of the industry related CRMs don't provide really great information in terms of what was the open rate, how many people actually clicked through. So that's why we use a separate CRM. But something like Constant Contact, that's an email marketing platform. Absolutely, you could use that because it's going to break down those performance metrics for you. Okay. Maybe I missed it, but where are you getting emails to mail out to other than your current students or past leads? So in marketing, there is a statement that says always be growing your list. We have close to 11,000 name, email, and phone numbers on our list that we have collected over the last 9 years. So that's not just leads through your website, but that's also walk-ins, that's also festivals, that's also partners in education. And it's another reason why, I push Market Muscle's website so hard is, if I shared my dashboard right now, we're sitting, I think, at like 60 leads already for this month alone on May 18th. So there are tools out there that will help you always be growing your list, and your website plays a big part of that. When calling out the anchor value specifically for the cost of classes, are you using your option D pricing for this? Yes, I am. Great question, Gage. So our option D is $199 down, $155 a month. So I would typically just take the 155 and the 155, add that together, and that gives you around that number that I put in there. I put 299 as opposed to whatever it would be 310 because that just sounds more marketable. Okay. And then the last question was, what is your thought on video social proofs on students? Yeah, so I had asked how many of you do video testimonials. I love them. We have them on our YouTube channel. The thing is that you cannot put a video in an email. So what you have to do is you would want to take a screenshot of whatever the thumbnail is, or you could create a thumbnail and then you link the image so that when they click on it, it then takes them to wherever you're hosting the video. If you have a Market Muscle site, you could host it on a landing page in your Market Muscle site. We have been directing a lot of traffic to our YouTube just because we've been trying to grow our YouTube subscriber base. Okay. Prestige, I have been told email deliverability will be negatively impacted if you continue to send email to people not opening, so you should scrub your list often. Your thoughts? Yeah, so guys, we're kind of running out of time here, and I didn't want to get to performance metrics and the swipe file, so I'm going to go about 10 more minutes, but I do have a 2 p.m., so let me just send a quick message to our community manager. Right, cool. I don't like being late to meetings, but we're on a roll, so let's keep going. So yes, when people unsubscribe, you should be happy that people unsubscribe. because now that is going to not negatively affect your deliverability, and you're going to be showing emails to people that want to be on the list. Okay, so this is why we don't want to be spamming our list. This is why we want to provide valuable information and not just sales, sales, sale. Okay, so let's dive into subject lines. 64% of people say they open an email because of the subject line. Okay, kind of a couple of things that I like to utilize in subject lines are emojis, numbers, questions, and their name. Okay, so we typically see higher open rates if we use an emoji. Now you've got to test whatever email platform that you are sending these emails out from. We've tried sending emojis from certain email platforms and CRMs, and it comes through as like a square box or a little diamond with a question mark. So you always want to test sending your emails first before you're going to send it out to your whole list. Okay, but typically, emojis, numbers, questions, and having their name will help increase your open rate. Now, swipe files are huge. So I have this swipe file on my desktop right here, literally says swipe files. And these are all emails that came in that caught my attention. And my recommendation would be to create a folder on your desktop, and anytime an email comes in that catches your attention, take that email, drag it into this folder, and you can now have all of these different subject lines that caught your attention. You see a lot of ones that have emojis in. You've got ones that had my name in here. You've got brackets in there. You've got lots of numbers in here. So a swipe file has really been super helpful to me when I've been creating email subject lines, because I literally have all of these different emails that have caught my attention previously, and I can use them in my subject lines. Okay, so really the biggest takeaway on this one, guys, needs to be that you need to have a swipe file on your computer, and you can literally just drag and drop those emails in there. And now when you go to write emails, you're going to have hundreds of different subject lines that you can use. Okay. All right, last up, and we're going to wrap up with this, performance metrics. So I just wanted to kind of go over these, kind of marketing lingo here in regards to what optimization you should be looking for. So list growth, this is just your new subscribers. Okay, how many new leads are you getting a month? The more levels of marketing that you implement, the more lines out in the ocean, the more that list is going to continue to grow. Okay, that's why if I get 50 leads from Facebook and only 20 of them convert, I don't look at the other 30 and say, oh, those are garbage leads. There's no such thing as a garbage lead. There's just leads that take longer to convert than other leads. Okay. You then have your delivery rate. So this is the percent of messages delivered to the recipient's inbox relative to the number of emails sent. So we want to aim for a delivery rate of about 95%. You have your open rate. A good open rate is going to be between 15 and 25%. So if you send out 100 of them, we want 15 to 25 of them to be open. Okay. And all the open rate is the percentage of messages opened by the recipient. Okay. Click-through rate. That's if you have an actual link inside of the email. This is the percent of email messages clicked on. Okay, and a 2.5% click-through rate is a pretty solid click-through rate. Okay, so really looking between 15 to 25% in regards to opening, and around a 2.5% is the average for the click-through rate. Your unsubscribe rate is people that unsubscribe, and I wouldn't get too upset about it, guys. Those are people that just don't want to be on your list anymore, and they're not going to affect the deliverability. The complaint rate is another aspect that could affect your deliverability. So this is basically the percent of emails that are marked as spam. So if you have somebody that is consistently, or people that are consistently marking your emails as spam, then your complaint rate will increase, and that can ultimately hurt your deliverability. Okay. The last thing I want to leave you with is to encourage whitelisting. So this is something that when somebody first opts into your email, or as you're sending these value emails to them, encourage them to whitelist. So when somebody whitelists your emails, it's basically telling their email provider, hey, this isn't spam. I want this to go directly into my inbox. Okay. So I would see how you could work that into the onboarding of any new prospects, any new trials, any new students, because we want to make sure that they are able to get our emails. Okay. And that's it. Any questions, guys? Anything at all? It doesn't have to necessarily pertain with email marketing. It could be on, anything in terms of digital marketing, marriage advice. I got a really great marriage, parenting advice. I got some pretty awesome kids. Any questions on anything at all? If you have not done a marketing audit with me, go to growproagency.com/survey, book the marketing audit. I'll do a full marketing audit on your Facebook page, any ads that you're running, Google My Business listing, and a search engine results page. I do this free of cost. It's my way of just helping our industry out. So if you have not booked that, go ahead and book it. If you're already a client with me, we've already done this, okay? So I see a couple more questions rolling in, and then we'll wrap it up. For your website, if you have a testimonial, what is your thought on putting a picture of the person who did it? Yeah, so I think it depends on who your website provider is. I know for us, it automatically pulls in Facebook recommendations and reviews, which has the picture of the person's Facebook profile. I do believe that it makes it more legit than not. So yes, if you have the ability to be able to do that, absolutely. Omar, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. We'll be singing your praises. Please let me know if you need a review. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Susanna, Chris, are you going to post these slides on the Martial Arts Entrepreneur page? We are going to email them. So you'll have a link to the recording and you'll have a link to the PDF in a Google Drive. Do you ask the student? No, we don't. If they're leaving a review on Facebook or on Google, they know that this isn't a public platform, so we don't. Okay. If you did a video case study, I would, just make sure that they fully understand what you're going to be using that for. Okay. Tammy, thank you once again. Your information is invaluable. Laura, thanks so much. Love how much you share. Great info. All right, guys. Sorry we went a couple of minutes early. I appreciate your time, your energy. If you need to reach out to me, head to the Martial Arts Entrepreneurs Facebook group, or you can shoot me an email at midgettwister@gmail.com. Most professional sounding email that you're going to hear in the game. Okay. Omar, I'll shoot you an email. You're a client, so I'll send you an email with that. Okay. All right, guys, make it a great day. See everybody later. Peace.